And not even that, because I've been out recruiting for probably half of that time. So I think today was my third practice. Yeah.
What's your first impression been just being around the program?
Well, you can see, I think when I've told a couple people, it kind of feels like I'm a visiting coach right now. It kind of feels weird. I've never taken a job this early before. But it gives you a unique perspective on the team. And so you see why this team has won. You see confidence in the players and in the staff. And I mean, I think I can see why Coach Leipold has been successful. And so the team enjoys practicing. They enjoy being around each other. There are healthy relationships with the coaches and the players. There's healthy relationships, it feels like, between the offense and the defense, the staff. Obviously, there's a lot of continuity there, and guys who you can tell are comfortable working with each other. And, you know, those are things that nobody really talks about. Everybody would much rather talk about something sexier, like the new guy that you signed in the transfer portal or something like that. But the nuts and bolts of a program are the things that give you a chance to be successful. Certainly you have to have enough talent, but the work ethic, the camaraderie, the unity, all of those things are evident. I've enjoyed watching it.
And you said, obviously, you've only been around for a few days, but taking the job this early too, what do you focus on in the first couple weeks, month that you're with the new program?
I'm still trying to figure that out myself. No, it's been interesting, and so it was something Lance and I talked about early on. How do you manage it when you walk into this situation? Every other job that I've taken, it's been after bowl season, some even after signing day, after the later signing day, after recruiting, all of recruiting's over with. So it is very unique, and I think the biggest thing, the most important thing for me right now is just to get to know the players and the staff and build relationships with those guys. You know, the relationship part of it is something that, again, going back to some of those intangible things I was talking about a minute ago, the relationships really matter, and relationships are built on trust. And you can only trust someone if you know them. And so I recognize I'm coming into a unique situation. And so that's the most important thing for me right now, just getting to know people. And then, you know, it gives me a unique ability to sort of walk around with my little notebook and just make some observations and take some notes that some may be applicable now, some might be a little more appropriate after we get back from the Christmas break.
You touched on this a little bit, but how do you approach coming into a staff that has had the level of continuity and the years-long relationships with Lance that these guys have?
I think it's a plus. You know, a lot of people might feel like that's something that they wouldn't want to do or be a part of, and I've done it a couple times in my career, never in this position, I don't think, but I think it's a positive. You know, my goal would be to blend in, not stick out. And when you have something that's been successful, the staff camaraderie piece specifically, you know, I want to come in and hope that I can just add to that. And something that Lance did that was unique. I've been involved with a number of different jobs and interviews and that sort of thing over my career, but never have I had one that went like this did. And so it started with getting, you know, conversation with Lance and I, and then it was another coach and then another coach. And before we even got to the point where he was ready to offer me the job, I think I'd spoken with over half of the staff on the phone. And I think there was a feeling out process for them that was important for Lance. Wanted to feel like somebody could come in and jump in and grab an oar and fit in. But I think there was also a piece that he recognized, which was an opportunity for me to get comfortable as well.
Jeff, at Baylor, you being in the conference, you've seen what Kansas has done. Just what's been your impression of watching it build?
one of the reasons that I was most excited about taking the job. Just um, an incredible job of building, like you said, that's the word. I mean, Lance and the staff and this team have built something that wasn't here. My first year at Baylor was Lance's first year here. I was not there, Aranda's first year there. And so 21, when we came here to play, and you look at that team at that time, and then you look at this team now, just 3 years later, wow, what a difference. And so part of it's recruiting and talent, but I think even more, you see the development. You see players who have grown, and you see players who are playing with confidence and energy and toughness, and that doesn't just happen without the right leadership.
You'll continue as a tight ends coach. Has that caught on to you? Because you've been an O-line guy for your career until you went to Baylor.
Yeah, and at BYU, I actually did not have a position that I coached, and so I spent a little bit of time with every position for those 3 years, which was good. I could sort of bounce around and make sure everything was the way that I thought it should be. But coaching tight ends is unique, and I really enjoy it because it gives you a chance to touch all parts of the game, and you know, our tight ends will be asked to do a lot of different things, and it's one of the more challenging positions to play in this style of offense. If you're a tight end who might be in a different style of offense, it's a little bit easier, but you know, a lot of the skills that you have to perform are offensive line driven, and then a bunch of other ones are receiver driven, and so there are a lot of things that you have to do as a tight end that are unnatural, and the skill base, the requirements are so broad that it takes a unique person to do it, and then you know, obviously there's a real I think skill and knowledge base that you have to coach it as well. So I enjoy it.
Lance talked about there being a seamless transition between what KU's done the last 3 years and what you've done in your past stops. Just in your own words, how would you describe your philosophy on offense?
Yeah, I don't think there's a big difference between. I should take that back. I think there are a lot of similarities to the way that I've built offenses in the past, and what Andy and Lance and everybody have done here. I think it starts with having an identity. I think there's a real strength that comes from knowing who you are. I think there are a lot of teams that I've been a part of where it was just a collection of plays, and so you've got a piece of paper that's a call sheet. That's my cheat sheet. This is all the players with pictures, numbers, hometowns, and so I'm trying to learn the team. But you have a call sheet. It's just a bunch of plays. It's just a bunch of plays that you've collected from a lot of different places, and all of us do that. I mean, certainly we all steal plays and get ideas from other people, but it has to start from a core philosophy, and at the core of that philosophy is your identity. If I know who I am as a person, then I find value in that, and I live that out. And I think the same thing would be true of any team, any company, any church, any organization. And so I think an offense would be the same way. And so it starts with a physical sort of gritty mindset. If you have that, then I think you can say that we're gonna attack. And in the philosophy that I've used, the core statement is that we're an attacking, and then it goes into a number of different things. But it starts with that, an attacking offense. So attacking can mean a lot of different things. It certainly lends itself to the offensive line and the run game and the physical presence that you're going to have running the football. But it can also mean we're going to throw the football, and not just throw it, but throw it down the field. I believe in throwing the football vertically and taking shots anytime, any place. And so that's another piece of attacking. And so a receiver going up for a 50-50 jump ball, the way that he goes after the ball, there should be an attacking mindset to how he goes about that. And so I think it starts with that. I think balance is important. I think you can define balance a lot of different ways. For me, it means you can run the ball, or you're a threat to run the ball or throw the ball in any given situation. So whether the ball's on the -1 yard line, or whether it's on the +1 and you're about to go in and score, or whether it's 3rd and 8, or whether it's 4th and 1. If you present that challenge to the defense, then to me that's real balance. In some games it might be a little bit more throwing, some it might be a little bit more passing. There are a lot of different things that factor into that decision. And really, it gets down to doing what your players do well. I was just talking with a couple of guys on the field about this today, and hey, what's your favorite run, or what's your favorite throw, and what the players really like, and what they can execute, how they can excel. So even though there's a core philosophy, it might lean one direction or the other to accentuate some of those things from year to year.
You mentioned recruiting. Just how do you go out and craft a compelling message to potential new talent when you're still in the process?
How do you do what? I'm sorry.
Go out and come up with a message to give to recruits when you're still trying to figure out kind of the core message yourself.
Well, I think it's really easy for me because I've been a part of competing against this team and watching what this team has done and how it's been built. And I was having a conversation with a recruit not long ago, and I said, hey, I was sitting in your seat not too long ago myself, and trying to decide if this was the best job opportunity for me or not. And making that decision is based on a lot of the same things that a recruit might be thinking about when he's trying to decide whether KU is the best fit for him or not as well. So it hasn't been difficult. I think there's a lot to sell about this team, a lot to sell about the staff, a lot to sell about KU. I might not be able to give them a campus tour yet, but I'm working on that.
Anything else, Coach? All right.
All good?
Thanks, everyone.
All right.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Bob.
fellas.